Hey everyone, Rich Lowry of National Review here, astonished and amused that Sydney Sweeney, the genuinely talented, lovely, and famously pneumatic actress, is supposedly now a budding icon of Nazism because of this ad.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very keens.
Okay, that's clearly designed to get your attention the way good advertising should, but we have woke voices on TikTok warning of incipient Nazism.
Should we be surprised that a company whose name is literally American Eagle is making fascist propaganda like this? Probably not, but it's still really shocking. Like, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman is talking about her good genes. Like, that is Nazi propaganda.
We have professors making connections to the eugenics movement.
The pun, good genes, activates troubling historical associations for this country. The American eugenics movement in its prime between like 1900 and 1940 weaponized the idea of good genes just to justify white supremacism.
And we have others warning about a threat to black people.
Yep, that got me too. And I don't know why. Maybe because it's just so blatant. I keep thinking that people just are not gonna believe us until we're hung out there, but then even then I feel like they'll be like, oh no. Kind of like they are with.
And we have opinion pieces warning about an unbridled shift to whiteness. Okay, but obviously the first thing you should think about in terms of a cultural analog to the Sydney Sweeney ad is not Lena Riefenstahl, it is Brooke Shields, the famous actress and model from the 1980s and 90s who cut this ad for Calvin Klein that became iconic in the 1980s.
You want to know what comes between me and my Calvins? Nothing.
Calvin Klein jeans.
See any similarities there? A young, attractive actress behaving in a coquettish manner? That's what's happening with this ad. But progressives play this game, especially in the Trump years, where if they can find the most tenuous connection, a similar word or anything, they say it must be Nazism, right? So that woke TikToker says it's not a coincidence that the company is called American Eagle because of Nazis. They liked eagle imagery too, QED, or the word genes. The idea that this is in any way evoking eugenics is completely preposterous. She's not saying that ad that people with superior genes, quote unquote, should be privileged over others, or we should undertake practices to eliminate people with so-called inferior genes. Of course, there's no such thing as an inferior human being. None of that is there. She's attractive. She's appealing. She's alluring. And it makes for good advertising, right? This is why you get Anna Nicole Smith fronting for Calvin Klein jeans in the 1990s. And it's not just white women, right? Eva Menendez also ads for Calvin Klein. Beyonce, very memorable ads for Levi's, and not just women either, all sorts of dudes too. And the idea that having blonde hair and blue eyes is a Nazi thing when you live in the United States of America is also crazy. It's one of the fundamental, not the only, but one of the fundamental American looks. And at the end of the day, these American Eagle ads, they are so very American. Look at this other iteration.
Sydney Sweeney has very keens.
there are few tropes that are more American than the attractive woman with a sports car. And by the way, Sydney Sweeney is a genuine car enthusiast herself, but this sort of imagery dots American culture and has for decades, whether it's the car wash scene from Cool Hand Luke or whether it's Paris Hilton in that Carl's Jr. ad. If you look at the Sydney Sweeney car version of the American Eagle ad, it should remind you, I think, more than anything else, of this Cindy Crawford ad from the Super Bowl in the early 1990s.
Great new Pepsi can or what?
Introducing a whole new way to look at Pepsi and Diet Pepsi.
It's beautiful.
And I think this really gets to the crux of the matter. The people who hate the Sydney Sweeney ads, they're not really worried about eugenics or about fascism. They just hate the idea that this is a throwback to a time when a company was unapologetic about using an attractive actress for this kind of advertisement without worrying about using a trans person, without worrying about using someone who's overweight. This is a good controversy for American Eagle, and whoever came up with this marketing campaign deserves a huge raise. This is the absolute opposite of the Dylan Mulvaney situation with Bud Light. This is a company that has helped its brand because it has courted an insane reaction from insane people with no sense of humor or fun.